The long-lost younger sister has finally been found, and the whole family of naive sweethearts are scrambling to pick her up. My brother, I'll cancel the board meeting and go pick her up. My younger brother, I'll cancel the exam and go pick her up. My father, I'll cancel the surgery and go pick her up. My grandfather, I'll cancel my workout and go pick her up. I snorted coldly and crushed a glass in front of him. My mother, who was about to speak, I'll stay at home obediently and not go anywhere. Since you've talked to them, they can't say anything about me, okay? The excitement is about to begin. If you like it, please click to subscribe. In order to find the long-lost younger sister, my younger brother entered the entertainment industry and took on a family variety show. Unexpectedly, within just 2 days of participating in the variety show, we really found out the whereabouts of my sister. Tomorrow is the day when my sister returns to the country, but the atmosphere at home is a bit strange right now. Originally, the whole family had a bit of an idol complex, pretending every day to let the audience see the demeanor of our Mia family. But today, everyone stopped pretending. They didn't care that they were participating in a live, broadcast variety show. They were all busy secretly competing and vying to go to the airport to pick her up. My brother pushed his glasses and took the lead. I'll go. I don't have much to do tomorrow. I just need to cancel the board meeting. My grandfather then said, better let me go. You young people just focus on your own things. I'll cancel tomorrow's workout and go pick her up. My father got anxious when he heard this and quickly said, I'll cancel tomorrow's surgery and go pick her up. As soon as my father finished speaking, my younger brother raised his hand, I'll go pick her up. I only have a small exam tomorrow. Canceling it is no big deal. You guys just stay at home and wait. TSK, this is too much. I told them to read fewer novels, but they just wouldn't listen. You can't say such things without reading a dozen or so spoiled by the whole family novels. Humph. I snorted coldly and successfully attracted everyone's attention. Go, go. None of you are doing your proper business. All of you go queue up at the airport. Grandpa, you don't need to work out either. Stuff yourself with cakes and drink as much wine as you want. Then, when your old buddies go dancing in the square with their great-grandchildren, you'll be lying in bed, and your heart will pound with every move. You still want to help us take care of the kids? Take care of the kids while they're on an 4-drip? And Dad, why are you joining them in this nonsense? Do you think you're a doctor who can cancel a surgery just like that? Do you know how hard it is to make an appointment with this specialist? If we don't do this surgery now, we'll have to wait in line for another 6 months. Fine, cancel the surgery then, and just pause life too. Brother, wake up. You're not the chairman or the president. You're just a senior employee. You don't have the right to cancel the board meeting. As for David, I'm warning you. If you fail this make-up exam and flunk the course, you don't need to study anymore. I'll throw you into the zoo's wild animal area to perform for a living. Then you'll really be in luck and can have chicken every day, if you can beat a tiger to it. That would definitely be a hot topic on the trending list. #shocking. An 18-line illiterate male star actually snatches food from a tiger's mouth. #your fans only care about your face, so save some dignity. When the time comes, when they're arguing with the fans of your rival, and the other side brags about their idol being on the cover of a September or October magazine, what about you? You'll receive a notice of academic delay from the school? After hearing my words, several people looked a bit guilty, but only David still looked unconvinced. My exam is in the afternoon. I can go in the morning. I crushed a glass in front of him. I can review well in the morning. I'm sure I won't fail this time, sister. After saying that, he came over obsequiously to massage my shoulders and legs. I rolled my eyes and ignored him. Just as I put down half of the glass, I saw my mother looking at me with wide eyes, wanting to say something but holding back. I'll just stay at home obediently and not go anywhere. Since you've talked to them, they can't say anything about me, okay? Fine. There's no one in this family of naive sweethearts who can really stand up. I clapped my hands and went back to my room to prepare the clothes I would wear tomorrow. I must make a good impression on my sister when we meet for the first time. Guys, who can understand? I'm about to have a sweet and soft-spoken younger sister. I'm so looking forward to it. What should I do? Beating my younger brother up is easy, but I don't have any experience in getting along with my sister. I have to read some spoiled by the whole family novels to learn. At this time, I didn't know that the audience watching the live broadcast in front of the screen had already gone crazy. I'm a bit confused. Having 60 million fans on Weibo is considered 18 line? Is the threshold for top-tier stars in the domestic entertainment industry that high? So what if he has 60 million fans? Didn't you hear his sister say that he's an illiterate who's about to fail a course? Are you a hater or a troll upstairs? Why don't you go check out David's school before calling him illiterate? Am I the only one who thinks the sister is so cool? 555 Crushing a glass, what a girl with super strength. TSK, being good looking is useless. With such a bad temper and showing off outside, and having a brother and a younger brother at home, a girl like this wouldn't be wanted in our village. Ah, right. How awesome your village is. A bunch of old zombies with their brains wrapped like in the Qing dynasty. Even a fairy like Beauty would have to think twice before giving you 200,000 yuan to marry into your community. LOL. David usually acts like a cool guy, but it turns out he's at the bottom of the food chain at home. I've been a fan of his for 3 years, and I've never seen him act so obsequiously. My name is Mia, the eldest daughter of the Mia family, and I possess a superpower that's not very useful. What is a not very useful superpower? It means I can see the endings of my family members, but only family members. For example, my younger brother David. At first, the words on his head were, a top-tier star who lacks basic education. After being mocked for being illiterate and then being cyber-bullied by anti-fans, he retires from the entertainment industry due to depression. I was so scared that I hired 6 tutoring teachers for him since he was 8 years old, rewarding each teacher 50,000 yuan for every point he improved. After my 10-year efforts of pushing him to study, my younger brother finally got into Tsinghua University. And those 6 teachers bought houses and cars and reached the peak of their lives. After David entered Tsinghua University, the long string of words on his head disappeared, leaving only 2 words, top tier. After solving my younger brother's problem, I had to deal with my older brother. My older brother Christopher's persona is a cannon fodder president. He looks down on Michael but gets slapped in the face. After his company goes bankrupt, he becomes a delivery guy. Ever since I knew that Christopher might become a delivery guy in the future, I would feel nervous whenever I saw him wearing a yellow or blue coat. But after so many years, I've never met Michael, so the words on my brother's head have never changed. I had no choice but to keep reminding my brother that if he met a person named Michael, he should be polite to him. Now, Christopher's first thing when he gets home is to come into my room and report, didn't meet him. If I do, I'll definitely be polite to him. Then he walks out of the room under my approving gaze of this kid has potential. Now, the endings of my family members are pretty good. With my guidance, my brother shouldn't have much chance of wearing a delivery uniform. Only my sister is left. Not long after arriving at the airport, I received a call from my sister saying that she had gotten off the plane. I see you. As I said that, I waved to the long-haired girl in a white dress not far away. The bullet comments were very touched to see that I recognized my sister so quickly. Having not seen each other for so many years, but being able to recognize you at a glance in the crowd. I'm really moved to tears. Yes, that wave just now really had a sense of fate. Although I couldn't find you, I would look at your photo every night before going to sleep, imagining what you look like now. Seeing this scene, I immediately placed an order for the toy my younger brother has always wanted. So touching. The filming director next to me also seemed to be touched. With red eyes, he choked up and said, Sister Mia, after not seeing each other for so many years, you can still recognize Sister Xueyao at a glance. You must have missed her a lot over the years, right? I was stunned for a moment, wanting to say something but holding back, then wanting to say it again. After thinking for a while, I couldn't help it. I know you're all very touched, but hold on. Don't you think my sister looks a lot like my younger brother? Ah? They're twin siblings. Isn't it easy to find a David in women's clothes? However, speaking of which, with the same facial features, how come they look so annoying on David's face but so cute and charming on my sister's face? Hee. After saying that, I ignored the stunned director next to me and waved to my sister again, over here. When she came closer, I saw a line of words on her head, super love struck, in Michael's harem, tricked by Michael into giving birth to a child and dying during childbirth. The words super were even bolded and blackened for emphasis. TSK, how extremely love struck is she. After a brief hug, a boy next to us interrupted the conversation between me and my sister. Io, who is this? I almost forgot to introduce. Sister, this is my senior Michael, who participated in the competition with me. Senior, this is my sister Mia. Got you, you little rascal. I sized up Michael quietly. He looks average. Not as handsome as David, average in height, not as tall as Christopher, and his figure seems average at first glance, and even worse upon closer inspection. TSK. What's wrong with these men? Please compete with each other. After a brief greeting, we got in the car and prepared to go back. When Michael saw my car, his eyes lit up, and then he started to find topics non-stop in the car. Sister Mia, one of my buddies has a car like yours. It's worth over 5 million. I smiled but didn't respond. Michael seemed to have found a topic and started sharing things about his buddy. My buddy's family is in the real estate business. What about your family, Io? Speaking of which, you usually seem so plain at school. I didn't expect your family to be so rich. However, I think girls don't need to drive such an expensive car. It would be better to use this money for investment. I have a buddy who threw over 200,000 yuan into the stock market at the beginning of the year and earned 2 or 3 times as much. Sister Mia, let's add each other on WeChat. More friends, more paths. Charlotte didn't expect that the senior who had always been indifferent to her suddenly became so enthusiastic, and the things he said were so paternalistic. She felt a bit embarrassed for a moment. I held back my temper again, and finally managed to suppress it, but my tone was already full of impatience. Unexpectedly, this guy couldn't read the atmosphere at all and kept preaching non-stop. He talked from funds to stocks, from Bitcoin to the US presidential election. His mouth was more talkative than the old man at the entrance of the community. Seeing that my sister was already blushing with embarrassment and the person next to her didn't seem to stop, I got really angry. Are you very familiar with this Michael? When my sister introduced him to me just now, she said he was a senior. It seems they're not very familiar yet, and the super love-struck girl shouldn't have fallen for him yet. Sure enough, my sister shook her head. We just met during this overseas competition. That's good. I can scold him without worrying about my sister being sad. Ahem, the atmosphere is like this. It would be impolite to stay quiet. Michael. I interrupted Michael with a smile, and my expression was as gentle as possible. This is usually a sign that I'm about to explode. If David were here, he would definitely run away when he saw this expression. What's wrong, sister? Michael might have thought that his damn charm had conquered me and even winked at me. Ugh. I feel like I've fallen into a lard jar now. You've been talking about your friends. You haven't said anything about yourself yet. Me? Ha ha ha, I'm just average. I didn't want to listen to this greasy guy's speech at all and interrupted him directly. Indeed, average people don't think much of you either. This was already a bit harsh, but Michael didn't seem to get it and was still complacent. Sorry, I chased the school belle in high school. What was he trying to express? Is it something to be proud of being a school belle's admirer? Oh? Then why didn't you succeed? Was it because you didn't want to? Hey, I just thought it was so. Nowadays, girls outside are too materialistic. They want a house and a car when they get married, and they even ask me to pay for dates. I told her that I'm the only son in the family, and everything at home will be mine in the future. My 2 sisters will pay the down payment, but she didn't listen. In the end, she ran off with a pretty boy whose parents are civil servants. TSK. But there are quite a few people chasing me. They all say I'm in good condition and handsome. Ha ha ha. How could my brother be so weak that he was slapped in the face by such a nobody and ended up delivering food to pay off debts? Senior, didn't you say you have 2 sisters? Why do you say you're the only son again? In our family, I'm the only son to carry on the family line. Girls will get married and move out in the future. A married daughter is like spilled water. How can they be considered part of the family? Damn it. Now I know why my sister is super love-struck. Taking such a person as a treasure is definitely super love-struck. I took a deep breath, then slowly pulled over and stopped the car, and picked up my phone. Sister, are you navigating? No, I want to check the Bible to see which page you're on. You say you look like a water ghost but claim to be a ladies' man. You don't have a mirror at home, but you must have urine, right? Please see yourself clearly. Don't think you can bark here just because dogs are friends of humans. Stop being blindly self-confident, okay? How high is the threshold for being a normal person? Why can't you cross it? You talk so rudely. With such a bad temper, no one will like you even if you drive a nice car. My buddy said he would come to pick me up in a sports car. If it weren't for the sake of school girl Shueyao, I wouldn't even bother to ride in your car worth millions. Ah, right. How thick-skinned you are. They have to come to you to buy materials for building the Great Wall. Grazing on the grassland is just for fun, but the real nobody is you. Do you think you can talk to your grandma like this just because the price of pork has gone up and you think your worth has increased? I, a city beauty, don't have time to play games with you here. I'll lend you 50 cents. Go shake at the supermarket entrance until you figure it out and then come talk to me, you idiot. You. You what? Shake your brain well before talking to me. A little loach thinks it's a seafood just because it's dipped in salt. If your mouth is idle, go lick the toilet seat. Stop blabbering here. Michael was so angry that he was gasping for breath and reached out to grab me. I grabbed his hand, pulled, twisted, and broke it. With a click, Michael let out a scream. Pathetic. Useless guy. Michael couldn't talk back to me and couldn't beat me either. He could only get out of the car in a dejected manner. It's getting cold recently. Cover yourself with more soil. After saying that, I slowly rolled up the car window and drove away. After driving for a while, I found that Charlotte hadn't said a word and was just sitting there blankly. Was she scared by me? Damn it. I clearly promised to create a gentle sister image in front of my sister, but I couldn't hold back just now. Would she dislike me? Would she think I'm rude and not want to get along with me anymore? Ahem, actually I'm not usually like this. Just now, sister, you were so amazing. Ah? I was about to apologize to my sister, but I was stunned. Then I heard my sister's continuous praise. No. I just casually scolded him. It's not as amazing as you said. Ha ha ha, you're making me blush with your praise. Sister, if anyone offends you in the future, tell me and I'll scold him for you. Sister, can you teach me how to curse? Teach you? No way. What's a kid doing learning to curse? And there are so many viewers watching. It's not a good influence. I pointed to the GoPro installed on the front of the car and refused. Unexpectedly, the bullet comments showed no mercy to me and all started pestering me to teach them how to curse. We also want to learn, we also want to learn, we also want to learn. Teach me, teach me, teach me, teach me, teach me. Please, 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 please. Sister Mia, won't you really rent out your mouth? Please, I really want it. Open a class to teach us, please. I'll listen on my knees. I'm a cry easily person. I really envy those who can output a stream of words and leave the other side with no way to resist. Every time I quarrel with someone, I start crying before I even open my mouth. Who can understand? It's so frustrating. Do you really want to learn? The bullet comments were filled with yes, 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 and Shueyao also kept nodding. Fine, then I'll teach you when we get home. Great. When I learn how to quarrel, if I have a boyfriend in the future, you'll be able to win the argument with him? TSK, as expected of my good sister. After getting along with me for such a short time, she's become clear-headed. Ah? No. I won't quarrel with him. I just want to be able to protect him when I learn how to quarrel. Well, she's still that super love-struck girl. When we got home, the whole family showered my sister with kisses, hugs, and gifts. Some gave shares, some gave houses, and some gave jewelry. David even wanted to give his autographed photo, but I kicked him away and deprived him of the right to give gifts. It took nearly a week to finish handling things like the household registration and asset transfer. Finally, everything was settled, and my father was also discharged from the hospital and went home. Today is just the weekend. Christopher, David, and Charlotte, these three naive sweethearts, are all at home. My plan to transform the naive sweethearts can finally be carried out. All of you, sit down properly. Do you know why I called you here today? The three of them shook their heads in unison and replied in one voice, no idea. As the only one with a brain in our Mia family, the owner of 806 tricks, I've decided to transform you. Sister, I have a question. Charlotte raised her hand high, her eyes twinkling, afraid that I wouldn't see her. Ask. Why 806 tricks? Can't it be 804 or 888? You answer her. I pointed at Christopher. Because Mia has 806, and each of the six of us, including Mom, Dad, Grandpa, and us, lacks one. So, there are exactly 800 for the whole family. Charlotte nodded, indicating that she understood, and the class continued. Today's lesson is, Away with the Love-Struck Brain. Before the start of today's lesson, the teacher has a question for everyone. A rich girl wants to be with a poor boy she's known for half a month. She pushes a suitcase and leaves home to live with him. The girl's parents don't agree with their relationship and ask the poor boy, where are you going to move? You have no house and no car. How can you take care of my daughter? Do you want my daughter to live a hard life with you? The poor boy replies. What do you think he will answer? The three of them lowered their heads and pondered, and the bullet comments also started to give their answers. He will say, Auntie, please believe me. I will work hard to give her happiness. Christopher spoke first, and David nodded in agreement. I think he will say, Auntie, Yao Yao and I are truly in love. We're not afraid of hardship. As long as we can be together, we can overcome any difficult environment. Don't worry. I will work hard to buy a big house for Yao Yao. Goodness, worthy of being a super love-struck person. This is like several Wang Baochuang combined. Wrong, completely wrong. From this question, we can see that classmate Charlotte is what we usually call a super love-struck person. Normally, what the other person says might be similar to what you said, but what he thinks in his heart may not be the case. Let's take a look at the correct answer. It doesn't matter. When she gets pregnant in a leaky rental house without air, conditioning or a water heater, you will surely feel sorry for her and take her home. After you pass away, as long as I coax her, won't everything in your family be mine? At that time, the child will take my surname, and the family property will be mine. I'll just wait to inherit everything. The room was quiet for a few seconds. Christopher and David seemed to be thinking and didn't speak, but Charlotte looked disapproving, and there were also a lot of people in the bullet comments criticizing me. Can't there be true love without money? I think Mia is too materialistic. Does a guy not deserve to be with you just because he has no money? What era is it now, and you still talk about being well matched in social and economic status? Yeah, isn't this just looking down on the poor and favoring the rich? Nowadays, girls are all spoiled by such teachings. Seeing that everyone doesn't agree with this answer, let's analyze it. Pay attention to the question. First, is it right to disobey your parents and leave home for a man you've known for less than half a month? Second, if your girlfriend's parents don't agree, instead of trying to persuade them, you let their daughter leave with you without any birthright. Do you think this is responsible? Third, with such poor conditions, you don't work hard to prove that you have the ability to give her happiness, but let her suffer with you. You only make empty promises without taking any real action. Do you think this is responsible? True love is based on mutual respect and equality. You should not only be responsible for the other person, but also for the choices you make. You can't always ask one side to sacrifice. If a relationship not only downgrades your quality of life, but also constantly drains your spirit, then I think you need to seriously consider whether it's necessary to continue. After saying this, the bullet comments were blank for a short time, and Charlotte also looked a bit confused but seemed to understand something. Thinking carefully, it's really like this. Giving up parents for a man you've known for half a month, isn't this just a fool? So I'm the love-struck one. Sister Lynn is so clear-headed. I'm going to play this on a loop in front of my love-struck best friend. After today's transformation, I assigned homework to the three naive sweethearts. Today's lesson was mainly for Charlotte, so the types of homework were completely different. Brother, your task for this week is to read and recite Pi thoroughly. I'll check next week. David, this week you need to memorize 500 words, read 10 research papers, and then write a literature review and hand it to me. Shuayao, your task is to finish reading How to Win Friends and Influence People and pick a basket of wild vegetables. Christopher and Charlotte both nodded, but only David lay on the sofa, looking hopeless. Just as I was about to leave after assigning the tasks, Shuayao stopped me. Sister, you said you would teach me how to curse last time. When shall we start? Tomorrow. I'll prepare lessons tonight. The next day, right after breakfast, Shuayao and the bullet comments urged me to start the class. Little sunflower cursing class begins. If a child's cough doesn't get better, it's mostly faked. Move a small bench, sit in the front row, open your notebook, and listen carefully while looking at the blackboard. You guys upstairs are so sly. You even brought a notebook to impress the teacher. Tear off a piece of paper for me to pretend. Guys in front, lower your heads a bit. I can't see the blackboard. What did the teacher say just now? Today we gather here for one purpose, to learn civilized debate. I deliberately changed into a professional outfit and put on a pair of glasses to look extremely professional. Sister, wasn't it about quarreling? Why has it become civilized debate? These are not important. I wasn't going to tell them that the director warned me last night that cursing was too dirty and would get the live broadcast room blocked, so I should be more civilized. Today we mainly learn 3 debate methods. Listen carefully and remember to take notes of the important parts. First, the perfunctory method. Broken down, it is, none of your business, none of my business, and really? In application, pay attention to the variation and choose the right words according to the context. The second is a formula. Everyone, remember to take notes and apply it flexibly, subject plus any relative plus body part. For example, your eyes are not even as big as the suppurated little finger of your great aunt with paronychia. The third is the making things up method. Glance up and down at the other person, plus with a contemptuous look, plus say in an innocent tone, "I didn't believe what they said before. I didn't expect you to be such a person." Then just leave. Don't answer whatever he asks. Students, although simple swearing is extremely satisfying, as civilized people, I suggest you use the third method more. It will surely make him feel uncomfortable and unable to sleep at night. Don't just study mechanically. Learn to practice. Now I'll randomly select lucky viewers to apply these methods and see how well you've mastered the knowledge. Sure enough, the sentence "now, let a classmate answer" is the best way to perk everyone up. As soon as I said I was going to ask a question, the bullet comments immediately started cramming. I didn't remember the second formula the teacher just said. Whose notes can I copy? I took notes randomly. I'm not sure if they're right. Don't blame me if they're wrong. What kind of look is for the making things up method? What look for the innocent tone? Damn, I've graduated for 3 years, but I still can't help feeling nervous when I hear the teacher asking someone to answer. Okay, now let our class representative Charlotte answer. As soon as I finished speaking, a series of bullet comments like "scared to death. Fortunately, it's not me" flashed by, and Charlotte stood up nervously. During the spring festival at home, when relatives force you to get married. Relative A, Shueyao, how much is your annual salary? Have you bought a house? A car? When will you bring your boyfriend back? Relative B, your cousin bought a house and a car last year. Your cousin said he's short of a bit for the down payment and wants to borrow some money to pay the down payment. Which method do you think is better to retort? I think the first method. Use "none of your business" to retort to relative A, and use "none of my business" or "really" to retort to relative B. Well, the answer is very accurate. Now, other classmates, let's answer the second question together. Use the second formula to make an example sentence. Those who know, type it in the bullet comments. People gradually sent their answers to the bullet comments. You stand there looking more disgusting than your second uncle's sweaty feet that haven't been washed for half a year. You look like the booger your uncle just picked out. Look at your wretched appearance, like the phlegm your great uncle just coughed up. TSK. These people are so dirty when they curse. Each generation is stronger than the last. I thought they were just imitating, but they've already started to surpass. Okay, it seems that everyone can use them flexibly. So, today's class is almost over. Before class ends, I'd like to remind you that when using the making things up method, the look, action, and tone should not change, but the words can be adjusted. After class, my sister was still sitting there muttering to herself. It seemed that she was reviewing. My sister is so cute. Especially when she's sitting there stupidly muttering to herself. I really love her to death. Just as I was about to go back to my room, I received a call from my brother. My secretary said a guy named Michael has an appointment to meet me this afternoon. Do you want to come and take a look? Good timing. I was about to look for you, and you came to me on your own. Let's settle this matter once and for all today. Actually, I've always been curious why my brother would go bankrupt. I've never doubted the endings of David and my sister. After all, my sister is really love-struck, and David really didn't like studying when he was a kid. But my brother has always been the most worry-free one in my family. He graduated from a prestigious university, is self-disciplined, calm, and family-oriented. He's gentle and polite to others. Sometimes, even if David and I make trouble, he will cooperate with us. I really can't figure out why my brother would lose to that greasy guy. I was thinking about this all the way, and before I knew it, I had walked to the office door and just heard Michael's voice. Boss, I have the core technology of Qigong in my hand. As long as you cooperate with me, within 3 months. I didn't hear the rest clearly. When Michael came out, he didn't look very good. He was probably rejected. Brother, what did he want you to cooperate with him on? He said he has the core code of Qigong. As long as I cooperate with him, he'll give me the code, but after we annex Qigong, he wants the position of manager. Qigong? I remember the founder's surname isn't Michael. The founder is Joseph, the second young master of Jingsheng International. He had a falling out with his family and said he wanted to start from scratch. He took a group of people and founded Qigong. Although Michael has a bad character, his ability is not bad. He's considered a core member of Qiguang. Since Qiguang has the backing of Jingsheng, why did he come to us? The family elder has always looked down on Qiguang, thinking it's just a small-time business. He wants Joseph to inherit the family business and has said that anyone who supports Qiguang is against Jingsheng. So, Qiguang has always been suppressed and is on the verge of collapse. Michael should also think that Qiguang won't last long, but there aren't many companies that can swallow Qiguang, so he came to us. There's another thing. Christopher raised his eyebrows and continued. I have a junior who also works in Qiguang. I met him at a meal a few days ago, and he said they might have a cooperation with the Lin family in a few days. I asked in detail just now. They're developing new products and need investment, and this matter is exactly what Michael is in charge of. So, Michael is pretending to attract investment but actually looking for a new backer. Christopher nodded, agreeing with my view. You didn't agree to him, did you? Of course not. Although Joseph has fallen out with Jingsheng now, they're still related by blood. Besides, the business directions of Qiguang and our family don't overlap much. I don't need to offend Jingsheng for a small company. Judging from what my brother said, he should have rejected Michael. Then why is his ending still bankruptcy? Wait. If I couldn't see the endings of my family members, then Michael and my sister should be together now. My brother didn't agree to him this time, but Michael has ulterior motives. There are other companies. As long as he sells these core materials, Qiguang will surely collapse. Then how will the second young master deal with the traitor? Joseph's family is powerful. My brother will surely protect Michael for my sister's sake. And since Michael has betrayed Qiguang once, won't he betray the Lin family? This guy. He's really shameless. Brother, how much is still needed for Qiguang's investment? Why? Do you want to invest? Qiguang has been able to develop to this scale under the suppression of Jingsheng in recent years, which shows that Joseph is no ordinary person. Besides, Joseph still has the surname Jing. After all, they're family. It's better to do him a favor now. What do you think? This matter shouldn't involve the family. I'll give you his contact information, and you can talk to him yourself. Okay. When I first met Joseph, although I was prepared, I was still stunned by his good looks. Pushing open the office door, I saw a tall and straight figure casually leaning against the desk, lazily flipping through the documents in his hand. I stood at the door, stunned for a moment, and then heard him suddenly laugh. Aren't you coming in? I actually felt a sense of nervousness that I hadn't felt for a long time. I heard you want to invest in Qiguang? I slowly sat down on the sofa, nodded, and looked at him without speaking. How much are you going to invest? How much do you need? Joseph crossed his legs and said casually, as everyone knows, Jingsheng has been suppressing Qiguang. Aren't you afraid of offending Jingsheng by investing in Qiguang at this time? First of all, this investment is made by me personally and has nothing to do with the Lin family. Secondly, Qiguang has been able to develop to its current scale under high pressure. I don't think you'll be easily defeated. It's better to do you a favor now. You get the investment, and I make money. Then it's a pleasure to cooperate. Joseph took the initiative to reach out his hand, and I shook it out of courtesy. By the way, since we're cooperating now, I need to remind you that I don't want to see the situation where a core member of the company takes the core code and goes to another company to seek cooperation a second time. The originally casual Joseph immediately put away his nonchalant expression after hearing my words. He thought for a few seconds and then asked, Michael? Who did he approach? I'll have someone contact you about the contract. If everything goes smoothly, you'll receive the investment this weekend. I didn't answer his question. Some things are more interesting to find out by oneself. Sure enough, within 2 days, I received the news that Michael was under investigation. Taking kickbacks, sexual harassment, bribery. How many more surprises does he have that I don't know about? Without Michael, my cooperation with Qiguang went smoothly. We signed the contract within a few days. And because of my capital injection, Qiguang started the research and development of new products and would be able to put them on the market soon. Thanks to Miss Lin's reminder this time. When are you free, Miss Lin? I'd like to invite you to a simple meal. The voice on the other end of the phone was still casual. I don't know why, but ever since we signed the contract that day, Joseph has been pestering me. I can even run into him when I go shopping. No need for the meal. I'm busy recently. If you really want to thank me, just give me more dividends at the end of the year. I've really been very busy recently, busy saving the naive sweethearts. Not long after Michael was investigated, the live broadcast variety show ended. And the words on my brother's head had disappeared, leaving only the word president. This shows that the plan to save the naive, sweet, and innocent ones has achieved a stage victory. Although the transformation of the naive sweethearts has achieved fruitful results, there are still some who slipped through the net. For example, my sister, the super love-struck one, is the biggest one who got away. For my sister's super love-struck situation, only the word super has disappeared. After all, she's still love-struck. So these days, I've been giving her one-on-one tutoring, determined to make her heart colder than the fish-killing knife in our Teen Mart. #shocking. A love-struck girl marries into a mountain village and suffers. #A sophomore boy spent 200,000 yuan on an online relationship, and the other side turned out to be a 60-year-old man. #10 harms of being love-struck. Forward this to your best friend quickly. Sister, my only sister, my dearest sister, I really know now. I really don't want to fall in love anymore. I just want to become a nun at a mountain. Please, don't forward these to me anymore. Then that's it for today. Before class ends, please recite the 3 mottos again. Feeling sorry for a man will bring bad luck for a lifetime. Spending money on a man will bring bad luck for 2 lifetimes. Believing a man's empty promises will bring bad luck for 3 lifetimes. Nice. Although there are many difficulties in the process of transforming the naive sweethearts, I believe that in the near future, I will surely be able to deal with this tough problem of my sister's love-struckness. I'm Charlotte. My sister says I'm super love-struck. Actually, I don't think I'm love-struck. I'm just attracted to good-looking guys. For example, my ex-boyfriend was on the school basketball team. He was tall and handsome. When I showed my sister his photo, she was stunned for 2 seconds and didn't say anything. He doesn't look as good in the photo. In reality, he's really handsome. My sister. What do you see in him? Do you think you've seen too much of Christopher and David usually? After eating too much delicious food, you just want to try pickles? I don't see anything in him. He was really nice to me usually. At first, I thought my sister had no taste, but then that scumbag actually cheated on me. I was so angry that I cried at home for 3 days. Then my sister found a group of people and beat that scumbag for 3 days. Woo-woo, my sister is the best. All men are bad. Guys, I'm attracted again. This time it's the teaching assistant of one of my elective courses. He's handsome and cold. I think he looks like Daniel Wu, but my sister just smiles and doesn't say anything. While I was trying my best to find out the teaching assistant's contact information, my sister was pouring cold water on me. Didn't you say all men are bad a few days ago? He's different from other men. If I miss him, my life will be over. My sister looked very angry. I thought she was going to burst into flames the next second. The teaching assistant was really cold. I sent him several messages, but he didn't reply. My sister, you sent so many messages, and he didn't reply. My sister, Mia's sister, is actually a little sycophant? He's just too busy with work to reply. Then why did he just like the moments of the school bell? Me. All men are bad. A few days ago, my sister and I attended a banquet, and I saw a handsome guy. This time he was really handsome, like the young Louis Koo. My sister even said that my taste had finally improved. Later, I saw him go to the balcony alone, so I wanted to go over and ask for his contact information. When I got there, I found he was talking to another man. That man was also quite handsome, but he looked casual and wasn't my type. I waited for a long time until they finally finished talking. Then he received a call and left. I came with high hopes but left disappointed. I was lowering my head and about to leave when the casual-looking man stopped me. Charlotte? Do you know me? You're Mia's sister. I nodded, and then I saw the man in front of me raise his eyebrows and ask with a smile, do you like the guy just now? I hesitated for a moment and then nodded. Hey, does he like my sister? But my sister is so excellent. It's normal for someone to like her. I won't betray my sister for a man. Sisters are like hands and feet, while men are like clothes. I can give you his contact information, his personality, hobbies, and the places he usually goes to. You can ask me whatever information you want. And you just need to tell me when your sister goes out shopping. What should I do? I'm so tempted. Deal. Nice cooperation. Sisters are like the numerous hands and feet of a centipede, while men are like winter clothes. Extra Chapter 2. My name is Joseph. I've fallen in love with a girl recently, but I've asked her out several times and been rejected. Fortunately, there's a little mole by her side, so I can know her whereabouts and be ready to run into her at any time. I've never seen such a girl. She's as proud as a peacock and as mischievous as a kitten when she teases people. Since I realized I had a crush on her, I watched the variety show she participated in. She's really good at cursing and is so strong that she can crush a glass. At that time, I thought that if I were with her, I must listen to her because I definitely can't beat her. After a long, long time, I finally caught up with this clear-headed girl. On the first day we confirmed our relationship, I gave her all my money. She was very surprised but still accepted it. Hee hee, she said spending money on a man brings bad luck for 2 lifetimes, but spending money on a wife brings good luck for 10 lifetimes.